Let's go to Rhoda, who joins us in Lynchburg, Virginia. Rhoda, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You bet, Rhoda. What's up?
I recently moved to Virginia from New Jersey back in December, and so I had to take a big cut in salary. And the school that hired me, they hired me on a salary of about $55,000, but my first check that I got from them was way off. So I called them, and they said, "Well, you started in January, so we prorated your salary to $29,000 over the rest of the year." And so I told them, how come? They said, well, it's based on 200 days of work. And so since I started in January, they knocked off the days that I didn't work. And then that's how they broke up my salary. I said, well, nobody explained that to me when I got hired. So I signed the contract, even though it mentioned the prorating, but I thought it was because, let's say, I didn't start January 1st. I started January 3rd, so they're going to not pay me for these 2 days. And they said that they gave me an explanation, a paper explaining how that my salary is going to be changing, and that this is what it's gonna be. And I said nobody gave me that, so I really feel frustrated.
Yeah.
And I reached out to HR, payroll, even a board member, and they all said, "Well, you signed the contract." So I was wondering if there's any way I can go about this to correct more than what I did.
Well, to me, there's really only two things you can do right now. One is you could consult an employment attorney who's an expert in this stuff, and you're going to have to prove that they didn't give you the document that they said they gave you. And then you're going to have that employment attorney look at the contract you did sign, which did mention proration. You just either, and I'm not accusing you, I'm just saying you either misinterpreted it, you didn't read it well enough, or it is ambiguous and it wasn't clear enough. So if an employment lawyer who knows what they're doing looks at that and go, yeah, you've got a case here, then you got to decide if you want to fight it. But the relationship is trashed, I think.
Yeah, if I
so what do you? Yeah, what's the win? You know what I'm saying? The win is they pay you the amount that you thought you got hired on for. What I don't understand is why January keeps coming up. Is this because their fiscal year is different than January?
No, that's because that's when I started work.
But hold on a second. I know that. I know you started in January, but my point is, what does that have to do with the proration? That means their fiscal year must be not January to January, because they're basically saying we hired you for a position that pays $55,000, but because you started in January, you're only getting $29,000. That means their fiscal year ends at another time. It's not January to December. Am I right?
Well, no, it's not. I think it's August or July, but it's a school. So, but they said that my salary is based on 200 days.
Oh, so it doesn't even matter there. But where does the $55,000 come in? So if you were to gut this out, you would make $55,000 next year for the full school year?
Yeah, I have to wait till next year.
Yeah, but why would you want to stay with these folks, even if you were to win this? So I think we're moving on as soon as we can.
Right. I that's why I called you, because I heard you say that as like if your employer doesn't care enough to about this, like, why should I stay here? And I've been feeling so dissatisfied with my job. I'm a school nurse, and it's just been so unsatisfactory. So
I'm so sorry.
To top it off with the salary, it's really not good.
I'm sorry. Well, so Rhoda, here's the deal. So as I was saying, there's two options. You get an employment attorney and you try to fight it, but what's the good? Even if you get the salary, it feels like the relationship is damaged. You don't trust them. They don't seem to care that you misunderstood or whatever. So it is what it is. It's a tough situation. I'm not making them out to be the bad guy either. I'm just saying they're not budging on this. So if you go the
No,
legal
they're
route,
not.
I just don't know what the win is in the long haul. So that leads to the second action, which is what I just said. You got to start looking. You're a school nurse. You're a nurse. That's still a very, very attractive position. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities. I don't know what your opportunities are in Lynchburg because it feels like you moved there just to work at this school. So now we go, okay, do I want to stay in Lynchburg or do I want to go somewhere else? But right now,
I moved here to be with my son because he moved here last year.
Good.
Because of school, yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm looking for nursing positions in Lynchburg. Like that's my full-time job right now. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to take the money they're paying me, but I'm spending every other waking moment looking for another gig, and I'm paying attention to contracts.
Right. Well, I asked them. It's like, why didn't you tell me? They said, well, we usually only if you ask, we'll explain it. I was like, wow, that's really.
Yeah.
I said that's not cool.
Yeah,
at all.
I would tend to agree with you on that. They need to explain that kind of stuff, but now you know what to look for. You see anything about prorated in a contract going forward, you're asking 79 questions, right?
Right. And they pushed this really fast because we were going into the Christmas break and they really wanted to hire me. So they were like pushing papers through and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. You see what? See, that's a warning sign we talked about earlier in today's program. You know, like it's when urgency is there, that's a red flag. Like, hey, let's slow our roll here. Why are we in such an urgent situation here? What are we trying to do? Why are they so urgent? And they wanted to get you in there, and now they're going, well, sorry, you signed a contract. Now, does that contract imply you can't leave until a certain time, that you'll be penalized?
No, it just says if I terminate my appointment, they'll just pay me on a daily basis up to the day I leave.
Okay, good. Yeah, let's go find something else, and then do not leave. Do not quit until you've already got the other deal done, right? And you're ready to go.
Right. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
All right.
Hey, listen,
Okay.
Lesson learned here, right? Lesson learned. Don't assume anything on contracts. Don't assume that large organizations care deeply about you. Don't assume it. For that matter, don't assume a small business cares about you either. Go verify it. How do they treat their people? What are the values here? Is this a open-handed conversation about this? Like, hey, here's what's going on. We've got a prorated situation. Like, I will tell you that if I have one beef with this school on this situation for Rhoda, it's that they shouldn't have just left it to paperwork. Hand Rhoda the paperwork, but go, Rhoda, here's the deal. We have a prorated system of how we're paying here, and we want you, but if you accept this job and you start in January, understand that you're going to get this pay. This is what it's going to look like. That's a simple explanation that is not to be left to just piece of paper. It's not that hard to do what I just did. Just want to make sure you're aware this is what the position will pay you next school year. This is that simple. Because here's the deal. Rhoda's immediately going to go, oh, okay. I'm not in such a hurry anymore, folks. They're in a hurry, but Rhoda wouldn't have been in a hurry. And so, here I don't, folks, I see it all the time. And I don't want to bash the man. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I am trying to be your advocate and say that a lot of organizations, they don't care. They don't care enough to be human in the hiring process. And if they're not human in the hiring process, I got news for you. They ain't going to be human when you're working for them. You're just a commodity. Run from that type of situation.